Another aspect of the police department is the Criminal Investigation Bureau and its detective unit. This state-of-the-art crime lab was part of the new construction of the whole facility back in 2013. This unit has extensive training in collection, identification, and classification of fingerprints, as well as footprints, tire impressions, and tool marks. PCN In Depth was able to get a tour of the lab and learn more about its capabilities in solving crimes.
Hi, my name is Officer Andrew Homestead with the Duxbury Police Department. I'm also assigned to the Identification Unit, which does all of our crime scene stuff. Right here we have a bunch of different options that we have for investigating crime scenes. We start with our powder kit, which helps to lift fingerprints. We have the standard black powder that you see on TV, that we also have the fluorescent fingerprint powder, which with that we use a forensic blue light, and it lights up the fingerprints. Amongst that we have all the fingerprint powder brushes and then different lifters, and which results in a couple different examples right here as far as prints lifted. So you can lift fingerprints with this gel, you can lift it off of tape, and then what it turns out to be is after you take pictures of it, we can blow it up and then work with the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department and Paul Souza down there, and he does comparisons. So as you can see here, it doesn't look like much, but this is actually a palm print from a window, and this is the original palm print, and then it's compared with subject's palm print from a palm print card, and you can see all the different points of identification as they match up. The same with fingerprints. This was a stolen TV, and we didn't have a suspect, so the fingerprints were photographed on the TV and then enhanced with a computer system, and then compared to the fingerprint card from the suspect, and then it was later made identification, and then subsequently an arrest after that. So we have a lot of different options. You don't get fingerprints in every case, but we do the best we can based upon the surfaces and the weather conditions and everything like that. The other things we look for as far as physical evidence is footprints. So as you can see here, we use a substance called dental stone, and we can actually pour that into mud or dirt or anything and lift the footprint, which might be difficult to see with the camera, but there's actually a whole footprint right here. Same with tire tracks. So if there's a hit and run, you can pour this into a section of tire tracks and use that for a comparison, which once again is done out at the crime lab at the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department. When you get fingerprints, they can appear on a bunch of different surfaces, from wood surfaces to metal surfaces, and inside of a car. You have to use different methods for each one of these surfaces. So right here we have a piece of paper, which clearly you can't see anything on, but I did put some fingerprints on there. This type of surface, we're going to use a magnetic fluorescent fingerprint powder, which adheres to the oils in your skin that are on there. And it's just a matter of rubbing it over the surface area, and then you'll see the fingerprints appear. With this one, you can clearly see there's a whole handprint on here. And you can use this in instances where maybe there's a robbery and a note passed. With the news station, since we've moved here, we've completely increased our capabilities. We never had a crime lab like this where we can process all of our evidence. There's evidence storage facilities in either section here in this room, which is our processing room, but we also have the ability to use this Fume Hood here. The Fume Hood's great because what we can do is we use this, it's essentially a fish tank, and what we'll do is we'll put an item in there and put super glue into that tank, and what it does is the super glue adheres to the fingerprints and makes the fingerprints permanent so that we can continuously dust them and try again if we don't get a good lift in the first try. It also helps with evidence in court because the fingerprint is always going to be on the object. So the fume hood, what that does is it allows us to use the super glue inside and not have to worry about all those fumes and vapors going throughout the station. So it goes into here, it's filtered, and released through a vent in the roof.